I will give you some tips to reach English fluency in 2024. I have been teaching English for over 30 years, and I have seen why some students are successful in becoming fluent and why other students make slow progress. These tips work. The most common question I get is, how can I improve my English? I'm not confident about my English. What should I do? Here are my tips that will get you results. Let's start with the first tip. Stay focused on a big goal. Ask yourself, how will my life improve if I reach my English goals? Why am I doing this? I want you to create a big, exciting goal. Something that truly excites you and makes you look forward to the future. You need to have an emotional connection with your goal. What will you be able to achieve when you speak English fluently? Are you going to get accepted to a university? Are you going to find your dream job because now you're fluent in English? How will your life be better when you master the English language? A goal that truly excites you will keep you motivated. Here's a quote that I really like. When you feel like quitting, think about why you started. Visualizing your goal will motivate you to work hard and to keep practicing during those times that you're not motivated. When you think you're not making any progress, when you feel like it's not worth it, or it's too hard, or studying is boring, or I hate English grammar, etc., etc. My students who have big goals make the most progress. Some of my favorite students to work with are actors in Los Angeles. For 25 years, I taught the American accent to actors from all over the world. They came to Hollywood to pursue their professional goals in film and television acting. And actors get rejected over and over again. They go on auditions and they usually get a no, but they don't give up because they focus on their goals. They practice their American accent with passion. And one of my students said, every time I feel like giving up, I visualize myself accepting an Oscar for Best Actor. And my other students who are not actors, who work in business, their goal might be to give an effective presentation in English. Or other times, it's getting a dream job or a big promotion. And sometimes they're more personal goals, such as dating someone whose native language is English. We all need a powerful long-term goal to help us overcome the short-term obstacles. What is your big goal? What will you be able to do when you master the English language? I want you to pause this video and visualize your special moment when you're fluent in English or when you're able to speak with a clear accent. Okay, do that now. Pause the video and visualize your goal and get really excited about it. Stay focused on that goal. Think about it regularly and think about it when you get discouraged. My next tip is set realistic short-term goals. Set specific language goals and have a plan. Remember, a goal without a plan is only a wish. Have specific goals. What are you going to learn each day, each week, each month? Make a plan. Write it down. If your goal is to get a high score on an English exam, how much are you going to study each day? Or, for example, if you want to work on your accent, you need to be systematic about it. Are you going to work on the vowel sounds first, and then the consonant sounds, and after that, the rhythm and the melody of the language? And then later, you're going to practice linking words, connecting words, so that your speech will sound natural? Your goals must be organized and systematic. Write down your goals and then stick to them. And remember, a goal without a plan is just a wish. And my next tip is, after you make your goals, be consistent. Make a plan to practice English consistently throughout the whole year, not just in January or February. How are you going to stay disciplined? Also, remember, success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. Success comes from what you do consistently. And here's my next tip. Make it your goal to be able to speak English on a wide variety of subjects. So you need to practice speaking about many different topics. And I'll explain how to do that even if you don't have anyone to practice with, even if you don't live in an English-speaking country. True fluency means you can have conversations comfortably and fluently about a wide variety of subjects in English. Is your English limited to specific topics? For example, my students who are engineers feel very comfortable speaking about topics related to engineering. They have a great vocabulary in that subject and they can sound fluent when they're talking about their job. But when it's time to talk about other subjects such as politics or the economy or going to the dentist, they no longer feel so confident about their English. Does that sound like you? Where are your gaps? Which topics do you not feel confident talking about in English? This is how I suggest you fix this issue. After you have a conversation with someone in your native language, in your daily life, recreate that conversation in English. For example, if you went to the car mechanic yesterday in order to get your car fixed, which specific things did you talk about in your language? How would you talk about fixing your car in English? What are the names of those car parts in English? If you don't know, find out. Go to Google Translate and find out, and then recreate the conversation in English. And then say the same word, the same expressions, and the same sentences that you used when you were speaking to the mechanic about your car. For example, can you check my front and rear brakes? I think they're worn out. That's a common thing we say when we go to the car mechanic. Or the tires need to be rotated and the wheels need to be aligned. Or the spark plugs need to be changed. If you don't know how to talk about these things in English, look up the words online by using Google Translate or the many other tools that are available online. Or maybe you recently got your hair cut. Recreate the conversation of what you told the hairstylist about how you want the hairstylist to cut your hair and the style of your hair. Or imagine you're talking to a psychologist about your emotional issues. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you could say that fluently and effortlessly in English? Imagine how much more confident you will be about your English. That's true fluency, being able to speak naturally and fluently about a wide variety of subjects. And here's my next tip. Record yourself speaking in English. You can do it on video or on audio. Imagine you're a YouTuber teaching people about something, or just talking about your life. If you don't feel comfortable speaking on video, then you can just speak on audio, then listening to the recording. Did you catch any mistakes? Any grammar mistakes? Any vocabulary mistakes? If you did, pause and say the sentence again correctly. Did you struggle to find the correct word when you were speaking? Then find out the meaning of the word online and say the sentence again. I know what you're thinking. Lisa, how do I know if I'm speaking correctly? How do I know if I'm making any mistakes? And I don't know any native speakers who can correct my mistakes. And that leads me to my next tip. Make AI your English tutor. There are so many ways to use AI. There are so many ways to use this new technology. Let me just show you one example of how you can use ChatGPT to help you with your English. Paste your text into ChatGPT and ask, have I made any grammar mistakes? Let me show you an example of what I did. And let's look at the results. I entered a text which contains some mistakes. I asked ChatGPT, correct my grammar mistakes and explain why they are wrong. Let's look at the results. Let's look at what I first entered with grammar mistakes. I wrote, I want to say thank you for helping me on this project. I am so happy that we worked together in it. We was a great team, and I believe we get some great result. I hope we will working in another project on the future. Did you catch any mistakes? And now let's look at how ChatGPT corrected my mistakes and then explained the grammar rules. I want to say thank you for helping me with this project. I'm so happy that we worked together on it. We were a great team. I believe we will achieve some great results. I hope we will work on another project in the future. And then ChatGPT explained my mistakes and gave me the grammar rules. Help me should be helping me because you need the present participle helping to indicate an ongoing action. We work together in it should be we work together on it to indicate that the collaboration has already occurred in the past. And you notice it also corrected the preposition. In it is wrong, it should be on it. And it corrected 4 other mistakes. Make an effort to learn all the different ways you can use AI for your language journey. So with all this new technology in 2024, no excuses allowed. And here's my next tip. Ask yourself which new habits you need to develop and which bad habits you need to get rid of. What do you need to change about your life? Maybe there are some bad habits that you need to give up. Maybe you're spending too much time on social media. Even if it's in English, it may not necessarily be helping you. If you're watching the same type of content, you're not expanding your English vocabulary. Maybe you're learning English slang, but it's not going to help you if your goal is to work in a professional environment where English is required. You might need other type of vocabulary. So make it a priority to focus on the things that are going to be important for your job, for your future in English. So ask yourself, what do you need to change? Which habits are not helping you? Just watching things in English is not enough. You have to practice with focus and with intention. And that means you're listening to something or you're watching something in English in order to learn. So in 2024, develop some new good habits. Remember, motivation is what gets you started, but habit is what keeps you going. My next tip is this year, do something that is outside of your comfort zone in English. Do something that is scary or something that you've been avoiding doing in English. Remember, if you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. What are you going to try to do in English that you've never done before? Something that you've been avoiding doing. What scares you? Is it public speaking? Then that's what you should practice doing. Is it communicating with native speakers? Making friends with native speakers? Or reading a whole novel in English? What is your area of weakness in English? That's the part that you should be working on. That's the part that you've been avoiding because you don't like it or you don't think you're good at it. Remember, successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. What have you not been willing to do? Don't do just what's easy. If you've been avoiding grammar because you hate studying grammar rules, maybe that's exactly what you should be studying, because speaking with incorrect grammar might be holding you back professionally. So this year, do something that you've been avoiding, or do something that's scary. What have you not done in English before that you've always wanted to do? Maybe start a podcast in English? Start a YouTube channel in English? Stretch yourself this year. Push yourself harder in those areas that you've been avoiding. And here's another quote that I really like. Perseverance is not an option, but a necessity for those who aim to achieve greatness. And perseverance means you keep going, you don't give up. I hope these tips have inspired you and given you ideas and motivation to keep going. I promise you, if you follow these tips and if you do them consistently, 12 months from now, your English will be at a much higher level. You're going to impress everyone and surprise everyone, and you will even surprise yourself. Let's make this year the year you look back on and say, that's when I became fluent in English. This is the perfect time to work on your English fluency and save $200 when you get the super bundle of all 3 of my courses: the American Accent course, 400 advanced words you must know for fluent English, and phrasal verbs for fluent English. Go to accurateenglish.com.